Good afternoon, everybody. So I decided that I was going to make a reverse canvas. I was going to show you guys how to do this reverse canvas, which is a really nifty technique that you can use with just regular painter's canvases. So I have two here, so I'm going to be making two. It came in a pack of two from Michael's. They were like $5 or $6 for the pack. So the supplies that you're going to need are those. You're going to need a staple gun, staples, and then your regular Cricut weeding tools. I use a brayer to adhere my vinyl better to the mat, and then your different types of vinyls. So we're going to, because it's Christmas, we're going to do Christmas type stuff. So I have green, red, and white glitter. I have gold, sparkle, HTV, and then I know there's not a whole lot in here, but there's some black. So hopefully it'll be black. I thought I bought black the other day, but it was brown. I just realized. That's all right. I don't know when I would ever use brown, but I now have brown in case I ever need to use it. So let me just clear this stuff up. And then I, always use your little scraper here, your little scraper guy. So I'm going to adhere, let's see which is the first mat that I cut. So I already have this stuff set up on my design space. So we're going to do love, and the O is Mary, Joseph, Baby Jesus, and the star. We're going to do that in gold, and the LVE in black. And then I have Mary and Bright for a second one, and just the Mary and Bright are going to be in the green glitter, and then the and is going to be in the red glitter. So we're going to click make it, and we're going to do on the mat. I do everything on the mat because I don't do smart vinyl. Okay, pardon me. So let's see. There's some extra stuff just kind of laying around. So we're going to put this black on here. We want to make sure that we have enough black. I may have to change the color of this, but let's see. So we're going about 3.5 inches. Oh yeah, we've got plenty. So this piece is about 4 inches wide. You just want to make sure that you have enough, especially when you have these little scraps that you're working with. So we are also, I forgot to mention, we are going to be using heat transfer vinyl for the canvases. So one of the things that we want to remember when we're doing anything with heat transfer vinyl is we want to click on the mirror, and that's this little, I don't know how well you guys can see, but that's this toggle switch over here on the left hand panel, the matte panel. So I'm just going to go through and I'm just going to click all of these to mirror, and I do it this way so that I don't forget to mirror anything. So then we're going to go back up here to the black. It's already mirrored. Whenever you're doing heat transfer vinyl, it's always, I don't know how well you guys can see. So that's the shiny side, and then there's a dull side. So you always want to do shiny side down. The shiny side is where your built-in transfer sheet is. So you definitely do not want to cut through that. I can't tell you how many times I have cut through my my built-in transfer sheet because I confused myself with which side goes up and which side goes down. So always remember the shiny side down. And the machine will remind you too when we click that in there. So let's see. All right, so that's adhered pretty nicely. So we're going to click on continue, and I just adhered it to my mat. And again, using the brayer, some of the ends may come up a little bit. That's okay. This mat is actually brand new, but looks super old and dirty. I got to clean up. And I actually have a video on how to clean your mats too. So I can link that with this video to show you guys. So we're just, we don't want vinyl. See, I clicked the wrong thing. So we're Everyday Iron On. I use Everyday Iron On is the brand for Cricut. I use Caesar. Me personally, I'm not a huge fan of Cricut vinyl. I will use Cricut vinyl from time to time. But I do, heat transfer and iron on vinyl is the same vinyl, or the same type of vinyl. It works the same way. So I always do the Everyday Iron On, and then underneath the Everyday Iron On, it says make sure Mirror is turned on and iron on material is face shiny side down. So there's an alert there that reminds you to do that. So we're just going to load our mat in, and then while this part is cutting, I'm going to show you guys how we're going to start our reverse canvas. Okay, we're going to take one of our canvases, and I'm going to use, I don't even know what this is called. It's a Cricut brand. The weeding, some of the weeding materials are okay, or the weeding tools are okay. But this is a true, some kind of true knife, or I don't know, true cut or true something. So what we're going to do is we are going to take our, you can use any kind of craft knife. X-Acto knife doesn't make a difference. We're going to cut along the back, the staples on the back with our little knife here. We'll go around some of these staples. Okay, we're just going to cut all the way around. You do want to apply some pressure because you're going to go through a few layers, especially around these corners. And we're going to go through a few layers of material. All right. And then this part should come off pretty easily. If you have to go back through and cut, you can go back through and cut. And I'll be honest with you, it looks like I cut on the wrong side of the thing. That's okay. We'll just take this off because this is just going to be some excess that we'll take off, and then I'll recut it around. No big deal. You're going to have a lot of excess material with this reverse canvas anyhow. So we're just going to take our knife again, and we're going to go along the other edge of the staples. I'll take that material out of my Cricut here in a second. You want to do it on the outer edge, which is not what I did. So you want to do this on the outer edge of the staples. That way it's easier to remove the canvas. See? You may have to cut like around the edges with a pair of scissors or something, but it's not. That's fine. Or get your X-Acto knife again and just go around those little areas. Or whichever crash blade you're using will be just fine. Sometimes, there we go. Sometimes it's a little trickier than what it seems. There we go. I'm just going to take this all the way off without ripping our canvas. You can rip it a little bit. There's always a little bit of wiggle room, but you don't want to, pardon me, you don't want to rip it too much. Come on off of that, thank you. Because if you rip it too much, then you're gonna not have a good finished product. Now, I have made a couple of these in the past. Oh boy, this one's a little bit more difficult than I originally anticipated. So see, whatever machine they use kind of folds and double folds these corners. Okay. Now, you can clean up the back, which we probably will. We'll just take off this extra little bit of canvas here. We'll do that towards the end. You can take these staples out if you want. I could take a screwdriver, I guess, and pull them out. But the wood here is not very dense. So you may risk ripping the wood or breaking it or something like that. So I usually just leave the staples, but you don't have to if you don't want to. You can take them out. In the front, now when you deal with bigger frames, they'll have staples in the corners here. These are not very big. These are only 8x8. And so there are no staples in the corners. I like the look of the staple in the corner, kind of gives it a rustic look. But this one doesn't have that, and that's perfectly fine. There are many things that you can do with this. For this project, I'm just gonna leave this natural, but you can stain this wood frame. You can paint it if you want to. You can, what I've done in the past is I've taken tea bags and I've kind of blotted around to darken this a little bit. So I stained it with tea. You can stain it with coffee. You can stain it, like already brewed coffee. You can, or you can leave it natural. For our purposes, I'm going to leave this natural. So I'm going to take this out. Clean up my workspace here a little. Okay. And then our next one is red. I gotta open this red glitter. One. Now when you work with, I'm not a big fan of glitter. Although I've been working more with glitter, so maybe I'm starting to get used to the idea of glitter. But when you work with this iron-on glitter, it's nice because it doesn't get everywhere. So this glitter, I definitely do not like working with. Sorry, I should have had this open prior to starting to talk to you guys. Alright, well, there we go. Alright, so I will throw all that stuff out in just a little bit. Should have brought the garbage can closer too. Alright, so we're going to take this red. Now when you're doing anything with glitter, whether it's glitter iron-on, we'll just roll this up. Whether it's glitter iron-on, it's glitter permanent vinyl, it's any of that kind of thing, you want to use a strong grip transfer mat. And I have one of those right here. And the strong grip is purple. This will keep, because the glitter is kind of, although this one's not too bad, it's kind of loose. But it's thicker, it's stiffer. It's a little stiffer than your regular flimsy vinyl. So you want to use a strong grip transfer, or you want to use a strong grip mat and or transfer tape if you're using like permanent vinyl or something to keep it adhered. If you use the standard grip mat, it's going to curl up around the edges, maybe even come up in the center. The nice, you want when you're doing any kind of a project, you want to be sure that you have a good grip on your material. So you want to make sure that you're using the appropriate mat. And there's all kinds of memes or whatever out there, like cheat sheets that talk about what material to use with what mat. So no matter what kind of material I'm using, I'm going to brayer it down so that we get a really good grip. And again, because it's heat transfer, you want to do the shiny side down and the dull side up. So, and we're only going to be using just a tiny corner. So we're going to give this the command again that we're going to be using everyday iron-on. And we're going to load it. All right, now while that's going, that little guy's going, I'm just gonna make both of these little canvases, and I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do with them just yet. As a lot of you know, some of you may not know, I travel for work, so I'm staying in a house that is not mine, so I'm unable to, I decorate it some because I need to be crafty and I need to do my decorating, but I'm not able to go crazy as if it were my house. So, but I wanted to show you guys this technique of this this canvas, because these are, like I said, these are really cool. You can put them, I mean, you can literally put them anywhere. I made a sign for a friend of mine one time, and it was a reverse canvas sign, and it said, laundry today or naked tomorrow. I hung it up in his laundry room. There we go, that corner was a little rough. So, like, you can literally, these are going to be Christmas, so you can, you know, the Christmas ones you can give as gifts. You can put on your front door. You can put in your entryway to, you know, for when you have your holiday parties, greeting your guests. However you, whoops, that one rolled a tiny bit, but we should be okay. However you decide you want to display these, and we're just gonna, like I said, we're just gonna do them kind of plain. Try not to cut myself here. We're going to do them kind of plain, so you can do anything with these canvases, really. You can paint them. The canvas that I made that said laundry today or naked tomorrow was painted black. And I did white lettering, so it kind of looked like it had a chalkboard kind of effect. You can, for these guys, you can just kind of leave them white, maybe put a bow on there. I'm probably not going to be putting any bows on these, but you certainly can do that. Get that off there. There we go. Okay. And again, we'll be cleaning up the back. We'll be cleaning up the back as we go, you know, when we're finished. I mean, okay. So we're going to unload this. And then oh, you know what? I messed it up. So this didn't cut through, and I'm going to tell you why it didn't cut through. Barely scratched the surface. So when I did this is glitter iron-on. It's a good learning experience for everybody. I clicked everyday iron-on. I don't want everyday iron-on. I want glitter iron-on. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to apply more pressure. So this will just apply more pressure to the blade with the glitter. So we're going to go back to, when you go back and do these cuts, be sure to look over here at your mats panel and click on the one that you need to do. So, or redo, I should say. So we're going to go through here. Well, that's actually doing that. I am going to get rid of some of this trash. Okay. And we'll hit the cut button. And while that's doing that, you want to try to save as much of your excess vinyl as you can. I don't always, but if I don't feel like I'm going to use the scrap, then I usually make bigger projects, so I don't really have any use for scraps. But sometimes. All right, so we're just going to weed this. Maybe we're going to weed it. And this is the LVE for the love. There we go. Some more trash. I should just go bring that garbage can over here. Pardon me. Alright, garbage can's nice and close by now. Sorry about that. Alright, now I'm going to unload our and it looks like it cut through. So we're going to take our crafting knife and we're just going to cut around the and. You always want to be sure to, when you're doing this part, and yes, you can cut on your mat. After all, the machine cuts on your mat. You just got to be sure to use enough pressure to get that off there. All right. Now, we're going to keep with this mat because we're going to do this gold shimmer. And even though it's shimmer and technically not glitter, it's sparkle or whatever they call it, I'm still going to use the Strong Grip mat just to make sure that I get the appropriate amount of adherence to my vinyl. Brayer it down. And we're gonna load it in here. Now again, for this one we're gonna do glitter iron-on, we're gonna do more pressure, and then we're going to load our mat. We're going to weed this glitter and we're going to go over here, okay, and we're going to hopefully this cut through. Sometimes I have a little issue with the glitter cutting through, which is why I tend to do more pressure, and this one did cut through great. Which is why I tend to do more pressure instead of the default pressure. So see, it didn't cut through in all of the areas, but that's okay. So we just gently push the parts that are coming up with the excess back down. There we go. And I just took my tool. Okay, that's good, Greg. Hope it didn't break. It's the only one I got. And then out of here we got this one wants to be difficult. So when they want to be difficult like that, sometimes what I do is I just take the tweezers and pull it out. And then this little piece right here. All right, and that's the and for the Merriam Brick. All right, we're just gonna set that aside. We're gonna unload our gold. And that worked out nicely, so we're going to just cut around this like we did the and. Pull that off. We're gonna re-roll this, and then we're gonna do the green, and then we can start adhering these things to our vinyl, or to our canvas rather. Quick storage tip. When I store my vinyl rolls, I cut the label off, so it'll come in this like sheet of paper. And I cut the label off, and down here, you know, it has the dimensions and it has the color. And then, I don't know how many of you remember snap bracelets from when we were kids, or from when you were a kid. I was a kid, we had snap bracelets. So I just bought snap bracelets. I think you get 50 of them for like $10 on Amazon. And I snap it around my vinyl, holds the whole roll in place. It's quite lovely. All right, and I'll be doing that for these guys too, but since I just opened these, and the label, the paper label, I didn't save for these because I can clearly see that they're green and red and white glitter. But a lot of times I like to save them, and that just helps me, because you know, like brown and black and navy blue may all look the same in the package or when they're wound up tightly. So I started doing that. Okay, so our green is adhered. We're gonna feed this through. And again, it's on our strong grip mat. So we're going to do the glitter iron-on, and we're going to do more pressure. Hopefully the more pressure won't ruin these words. We're going to load it up. Sometimes, depending on the pressure, the blade, I will do an entire video on machine maintenance as well, because I'm going to have to do some stuff with my machine here soon. So I will be sure that you guys are included in a video on how that looks. So I'm just going to weed this gold out of here. There we go. And it's gold, it's sparkly. How well you guys can see that. Now, one of the things that I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of trim, I'm just going to kind of trim around these letters here. Get rid of some of this excess, whatever it is you want to call it. This excess built-in transfer sheet thing. Okay. Now, when that's done, I'll weed that, and then we'll get to ironing. It is almost finished. And these, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with these just yet. If I'm going to give them as gifts, if I'm going to hang them for decoration and then give them to Goodwill. Because like I said, a lot of the things that I have right now are not mine. A lot of the things that I am making and giving away. So we are just going to take this and we just want to find the bottom of our design, and we want to just cut to the edge of it and then come up. Hopefully we didn't get any of the design. Nope, doesn't look like it. Okay. So now another thing that I know that I talked about is when you're removing vinyl, especially paper from any of these mats, you want to peel the mat away from your material, like I just did. And that will help not to damage the material in the process. So we're just going to stick this plastic covering. You know, you always want to protect your mats with these plastic coverings that they come with. And we're going to hit finish in design space, because that is going to take us back to our main canvas here. And when we are ready, we are going to use this to determine placement on our canvases and all those kinds of things. I just eyeball it. I don't do any fancy measuring. I will measure the size. Oops, ooh, things are ripping. Things are ripping over here. I will measure like the size of my project that I'm making, like with the canvas. But as far as like measuring this to that, no. I mean, I'm sure that there are methods and techniques and these kinds of things. I'm not about that life. I am just gonna eyeball it and make it pretty. And if you want, you can certainly figure out a technique to measure from your digital canvas to your actual canvas. I'm not, no, I'm just gonna, like I said, we're just gonna eyeball it. So we're gonna finish weeding this. That ripped and that kind of upsets me a little bit, but one of the nice things about, especially heat transfer vinyl, is when you, see, look, I don't know if you guys can see, sparkly, it's all glittery, and it's not getting on the table here at all, which is very nice. Like I was saying, one of the nice things about, especially heat transfer vinyl, is when you, if you have a little rip like how I had here, pardon me, and after you apply the heat and all the stuff, it kind of melts together, so you won't even really notice that there was a tear in the material. So I'm just going to finish weeding this. Some people feel that weeding is very therapeutic. I had a dot here, but that came off apparently. Sometimes, and I don't know why, the dots don't always cut all the way through, like for the I's and the lowercase j's and these kinds of things. I just leave it alone. You can clearly see that it's an I. So I don't usually, unless like I've made projects where the dots above the I is a little hard, so I might get a little annoyed that my dot's not there if it's a cute little heart or something like that. But other than that, I don't really care. Okay, so I want to show you guys this website. I'm not sure, where's my mouse? I'm not sure if you guys are, who's aware of this website, and I actually have it bookmarked. It's called Cricut Heat Guide. So the website is cricut.com/en_us/heat guide. And on here, it has all, where are we going with those? It has all the different types of presses that Cricut sells. So there's the Easy Press, the Easy Press 2, the Mini Press, and the Mug Press. So we're going to be using the Mini Press 2. Or I'm sorry, the Easy Press 2. And now we can scroll down a little bit. And if you're not sure which one you have, you can just find out which one you have. I'm not really sure how Cricut will know what you have, but probably a little creepy. But you can easily just go here and maybe answer a few questions, and they'll be able to tell you. I've never clicked that, to be honest, but if I had to guess, that's what would happen. So then you would come down here to heat transfer material, and we're gonna do, so first we're gonna do the everyday iron-on, okay? Because we have a few different types. We have the shimmer, which is glitter essentially. We have glitter, and then we have the regular. So we're going to start with the regular, which is the everyday iron-on, and our base material is cotton canvas. So there's all different kinds of materials you can do. You can burlap, cardstock. You can heat transfer vinyl and cardstock. I'm not even lying about that. 100% cotton canvas, cotton poly blend. Full leather, wood is down here, silk. So, and then what it will do, I'll show you. So we're going to go back to the cotton canvas, and you should never press directly onto your surface. You should press onto a towel or this mat right here, which is a Cricut heat press mat or easy press mat. So that's what I use. When I first started, I used a towel. Nothing wrong with that. Towel is an option here. But so for my intents and purposes, I'm going to click on the Easy Cricut or the Cricut Easy Press Mat, and we're going to click Apply. Now, this tells you automatically we're going on so it knows, however it knows some algorithm or something, it knows what machine we're using, what material we're pressing, and what we're pressing on. And with that information, it will tell you how long to preheat it, 5 seconds in our case, what the temperature of the heat press needs to be set at, how many seconds, so 340 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 seconds. You can also change this to Celsius if you wanted to. I like Fahrenheit. Apply light pressure, and then you're gonna, after the 30 seconds, you're gonna flip it and press for another 15 seconds. And then further instructions say slowly remove liner when cool to the touch. So some vinyls, some materials might be, it might be a warm peel, it might be a hot peel, a cool peel. I usually peel all mine when they're cool, but just, be on the lookout for that. One of the reasons we want to preheat our material is a couple of reasons. Actually, while I'm chatting about that, I'm gonna set up my heat press here to 340, right, for 30 seconds. Yeah. So when we preheat our material, one of the things that we wanted, a couple of reasons we preheat our material. We preheat our material to get all the wrinkles out. So if we're ironing on a shirt or something like that, a cotton shirt that might be wrinkly, we want a nice flat surface that we're working with. So we're going to be ironing it for those few seconds just to get those wrinkles out. Another reason that we do that is to probably get rid of that. Is to get rid of some of that moisture that's in the material, that's already in the material, maybe some moisture from our hands for when we touch it. Now, whenever I do anything with t-shirts or even the cotton canvas, I like to roll it with a lint roller. This is going to get any of the extra whatever's off. If you have animals, cat hair, dog hair, your hair, anything like that, just any lint from just the atmosphere, any dust from the environment, just roll it off. And I do this with the canvases, I do this with my t-shirts, I do this with, they even recommend when you are sublimating the mugs with the mug press, pardon me, that you lint roll them. So it's always nice to have a lint roller handy. So while we're waiting for that to warm up, actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to place our design onto the canvas. So I usually like to place the full design, no matter how many pieces I'm using. And with this, so this is going to come up a little bit. So that doesn't look, and then, if this stuck better, you can hold it up. And actually, one of the ways that we're going to get it to stick better is heat-resistant tape. I'm not sure if I've talked to you guys about that. Let me go get it. Okay, so heat-resistant tape is tape that is, as is described in the name of it, heat-resistant. So it's this blue tape. Cricut makes it blue. You can get some on Amazon for relatively cheap. And what you can do, like on something like this, you can just kind of tape the edges to get it to stay down. They say that you want to be careful, and when I say they, I mean not me. You want to be careful about putting the tape directly on any part of your design. I have put it on my design before and nothing has happened. So I'm not really sure what has happened in the past that have made them say that. But nothing has happened with my designs. So we've got this love in place, and actually we can kind of hold it up. We can kind of make sure that it's centered, or if we don't want it centered, it's exactly where we need for it to be or want for it to be. I'm going to stand up, push this chair back, and we're going to take, okay, so I did this whole spiel about preheating and I didn't do that. So let's do that. So we're going to just do a little bit of preheat for 5 seconds. I don't set the timer for 5 seconds. I just kind of count it out myself. And then we're going to put this back down. And again, we can kind of hold it up, see if that's where we like it. It's a little crooked, so we can pick it up and make it not crooked anymore. Okay. And then we're gonna press this for the 30 seconds, and the thing says light pressure. They will always say to flip and press for 15 seconds. I am, in my experience, I'm going to say that that is something that's optional. You don't have to flip it and do it for another 15 seconds if you don't want to. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I'm like, I don't really feel like doing that, so I'm not going to. And either way, nothing happens to my design. It doesn't come off quicker. It doesn't do any of those kinds of things. So we're gonna let that cool for a few minutes. And actually, while this is cooling, I'm gonna walk it over here. It'll cool faster when it's not on this hot pad, but while that part is cooling, we're going to do the second one, and we're going to switch. Where's my, there it is. We're going to switch. So we have on here right now the everyday iron-on, right? Light and metallic. So now we're going to go to, where is it? Glitter iron-on. And our material is still going to be the cotton canvas. For me, it's going to be the Cricut Easy Press Matte. For you, it might be a towel. And then you click apply. And now we're going to go to, really? Okay, now it says 270 for 30 seconds. So I thought it would be hotter. Or about the same. So we're just going to click 270. And now the machine will cool a little bit, and we'll be able to start this one while that one over there cools. And I know, see, we've got all these like little pieces in the corners and stuff. Don't even worry about that. We're going to take care of that in just a little bit. So this is going to cool. I have several projects going on. I had to check on my one project. I started doing glitter tumblers, which I will probably do a video on at some point, just not right now. They're not, it's still a learning curve for me, so still a learning process. So I had to go check on my tumbler. I'm going to actually move some of these things out of the way. So this is, so I showed you, and I just like, I don't know, I think I got this tape dispenser thing at the dollar store or something. But this is the package that the heat resistant tape comes in. So, and I got this one at Hobby Lobby for $7. It's a little expensive. Amazon has it for cheaper. Some things I just like the Cricut brand for better. Like the heat resistant tape, but I'll be honest, I have nothing to compare it to since it's the only heat resistant tape that I've ever used. This is not quite at 370, but I am just going to use it to preheat our material here, our canvas. Okay, and now we're going to take this Merry and Bright, and we're going to place it, or Merry Bright, I should say, the green glitter, and we're going to place it right in the center. Now for this, it doesn't really seem like we need to use, no, maybe a little bit. I thought it stuck, but I guess not. So we're just going to put some heat resistant tape in a few spots here to kind of hold it into place, and we're going to hold it up, see if that's where we like it. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. And then as soon as that's finished cooling off, actually, while we wait for that to finish cooling off, I'll bring this one back over, and we're going to take this off because it's cool now, and we'll just peel that like that. We're going to put this O in place. So see, now this isn't sticking, so this is going to be a perfect example of when I said I've put it on the material or on the design and nothing has happened. So it's going to overlap a little bit there. And it's going to overlap a little bit down here. Okay. Maybe we'll do the sides too, because you want to be sure that you get a good, like it's down on your material or on your, whatever you're working with. You want to make sure that it's down, it's like nice and flat on there. So we're going to finish this while we have it here. And we have these letters exposed, this LVE, we have these letters exposed. So whether you're using the Easy Press, the mini press, the mug press, whatever, if you have letters exposed, like how we have letters exposed that are not protected by a transfer sheet, I recommend butcher paper. Parchment paper might work. I would not use wax paper, but butcher paper definitely would work. And you can just, go to your local butcher and get some. But if you don't do anything to protect your exposed vinyl, what will happen is it'll burn. It'll burn these pieces of vinyl, and we don't want that. We don't like that. So we're just going to stick that over there, like that. I'm going to move a couple of these things out of the way while it's still cooling off. It takes longer to cool off than it does to heat up. And it takes longer to cool off because of, if your environment is warmer maybe or something like that, it's going to take a little longer. 10 more degrees. Remove my staple gun. So the staple gun is a pretty vital part of this whole process. So you want to be sure, and when I decided I was going to do this, I didn't have a staple gun. I had to go out and buy one. I found this bad boy for like $9 at Walmart. So it's fine. I don't have my regular staple gun. I have a Fiskars staple gun, and I don't have that with me, so I had to go out and buy this one, but it's fine. Totally worth it to show you guys this really neat technique. Okay, so we're at 270. So we're gonna press this guy for 30 seconds. And again, we're just doing light pressure. It says flip. We can flip it at this process if we wanted to, and press for 15 seconds. And again, it's a cool peel. We call it a cool peel, or, it'll be a warm peel, that kind of a thing. So we'll do that, and then we're going to do the next canvas. Okay, so we're going to remove this sheet, and we're going to take this guy back over here. And we'll let that cool. Now we're going to do the Merry and Bright, or Merry, this is just Merry Bright, and then we'll do the and. So now, because I've got the transfer sheet covering this whole, all the letters, I don't need this. You can use this if you want to. Nothing saying you have to. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but on this transfer sheet, where I weighted around the letters, you can see that there's some glitter. So I'm going to show you that that glitter is not going to transfer onto the canvas. At least I hope it won't. It hasn't in the past, so hopefully it won't do it this time either. We're just going to wait the 30 seconds here. Get this bad boy going, and then I'll bring the other one over. And that one should be cool by the time. Now you can, like I said, this thing will hold some heat, which I think is probably another reason why I don't flip it, because, you know, heat will come back up into the material. So if you leave your project on this mat to cool, which you can do, it's perfectly fine. It would just take a little longer. It would just take a little longer. So because I took it off, this one is all cool. So we're just going to rip that, or not rip it, but we're just going to remove that. And now we have a completed canvas. And that O with Mary and Joseph and baby Jesus and all that, the star sparkles, which is exactly what we want. So we're going to move that to the side. And this one, oh yeah, that didn't take very long to cool at all. So the Mary Bright is cool. So we're going to remove this, and I don't know if you guys can see, if you notice, the glitter that is on this transfer sheet did not, oh, maybe a little, one or two little specks, but it did not wind up on our canvas. So we're going to get rid of that. We're going to put the and. So now I have to go back to our canvas here in Design Space, and I just need to see where the and is located. So it's located under the Mary and above the R in Bright. Okay. Now it doesn't look like we have to put tape down for that, but we will need to put our butcher paper down because we don't want to burn the green glitter. So we're going to do this one for 30 seconds. And then we'll put both of these together. So this is a bit of a long process from start to finish. So our video is going to be over an hour, but that's because the process is that long. And oh, okay, my transfer piece came off with the butcher paper. That's fine, it can stay off. We're just going to put the butcher paper over here. We're going to move this whole mat to the counter. Let that finish cooling. Now, when we put the frame back around the canvas, all right, we want to make sure that it's centered okay. Just want to make sure you guys can see. Make sure that it's centered okay. So it's going to kind of look like this. Obviously not with all that excess around it. So we're going to flip it over. And like I said, you have all this extra material under here. You can remove that or leave it. I'm just going to leave it for right now. So we want to feel where there are not staples already. Because we are going to put staples in here. And what I'm going to do is I put one here. So I'm going to kind of pull, because you want it to be tight. Again, you don't want to hit any of the staples that are already here. Ooh, that one kind of popped up a little bit. If you choose to remove the staples, then you don't have to worry about that. I did not choose to remove the staples, so I have to be a little concerned as to where I'm putting my staples. And then once all the sides are stapled, you want to make sure that you get a good staples all the way around. Okay, we'll put over here. Maybe one more right here. Okay. Now, you can do a couple of things with this excess. You can take a pair of scissors, which is what I'm going to do, or you can take your craft knife. And if you're going to take your craft knife, you want to put it face down, right? And you just want to cut along the outside of not the inside, but the outside of your staples. I, however, I'm going to use a pair of scissors. And quite honestly, it doesn't really matter what the back of your canvas looks like. No one is going to see the back of your canvas. Unless you decide to show off the back of your canvas. If you decide to show off the back of your canvas, then you might want to clean it up a little bit. I'm not showing off the back of my canvas. So I am going to just use a pair of scissors and kind of sloppily cut around there. And then I'm actually going to add a staple to here. Actually, this corner, just like so. So that maybe up here in this corner, just so that it kind of gets better. Okay, so there's one of our things. We're going to set that off to the side, and we're going to go grab the other one, the Merry and Bright. So again, we just want to make sure that it's centered in our canvas. Okay, like that. And then we're just going to flip it over. And we're going to oh crap, I moved it. All right, so when you move it, you got to start over. Seeing where it's at. Okay. And sometimes, sometimes you can see, like on here, I can kind of see where the words are because there's indentation, but I cannot necessarily see where the frame is at for the canvas. So that I have to feel for. So I just do all four sides. Turn out crooked. I think it shifted a little bit. I just do all four sides, and then I just kind of add a few to each, staples to each side. Just to get a nice tight. So I think this one shifted a little bit. It looks a little crooked to me, but it's still really cute. All right, now we're gonna cut this excess off of here. And again, I'm just doing it sloppily because I am not gonna show off the back of my canvas. So I don't really care what the back looks like. But you may care what the back looks like, and that's okay, and you should if you want to. And so you just clean it up a little bit better than I am. And then once I'm done cutting all the way around, I'm just going to check out these corners, maybe put an extra staple in the corner just to, oops, that one just did not work out for me. Put an extra staple in the corner just so that the corners don't come up. And there we go. And now for these, like I said, you can put a bow on there, you can put some greenery, you can paint the canvas before you adhere your vinyl, just a word of caution if you're gonna paint. Read the instructions for the paint thoroughly, because there's a cure time, and you want to make sure that the paint cures on the canvas for the appropriate amount of time. On the back, see, kind of sloppy, but you can put a piece of ribbon. You can hot glue a piece of ribbon, which actually I may do. Hot glue a piece of ribbon in the center, and then you can kind of hang them. You can put, a bottle or a can tab on the back. Remember how we used to do when we did hang things on the wall? Glue a can tab on the back so that people can, you just hang it on the wall. Really, guys, the possibilities are endless with these reverse canvases. They are super cute, and you can really do anything with them. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.